Okay, so for me it's a pleasure introduce again Hrvoje Stančić that has been here in Reus in Catalonia several years ago. He's well, a good colleague for the last 10 years. So yeah, that you looks younger than me. So fortunately for you. So Hrvoje is a full professor and chair of archival and documentation science, and vice dean of for organization and development at the University of Zagreb. So I think I will not spend more time in to introduce you, and also for Mohammed and Peter, because all the speakers today have a long curricula and so it's a little difficult to explain. It's easy to find them online and to check all the information about their lives. So please, go ahead.
Thank you, Luis, for nice introduction. Good morning, everyone. It is really my honor to be here. This is my third visit to Girona, and I'm looking forward to come again, I would say, because I like the town and the company as well, of course. So my topic of today is archival challenges and artificial intelligence. This is the brief outline of the contents that I'm planning to go through. So for the introduction, that has already been said, we all know that archival institutions are constantly in a form of change, that the information technology influences very much our institutions. And there are always some new and emerging technologies. Some of them call them disruptive technologies. They are being called disruptive because they tend to disrupt the way we are doing our business, our daily operations. But I would like to view upon those technologies in a positive way, so that they do a positive disruptions. They actually help us perform better or help us do things in a more meaningful way without doing some boring stuff or repetitions or things like that. My speech today will be focused more on the long-term preservation function, and we all know that during the long-term preservation we will definitely need to do some transformations of the materials that we store and keep and preserve. So we will be engaged in conversions, migrations, emulations, virtualizations of old systems, and so on. And of course, during all those operations and over the long period of preservation of digital materials, we always have to keep in mind how to preserve authenticity, integrity, reliability, and usability of our records. And also sometimes there are aspects like non-repudiation, security, confidentiality, but sometimes also proof of ownership, which, for example, might be a challenge if you have digitally signed records, which digital signatures use signing certificates which expire in 2 to 5 years. So what do you do with them in a course of long-term preservation if you want to keep your records trustworthy, right? So we all think that artificial intelligence could help us in that area, and this is why in the end we are all here today. But I think that we should consider what an automation is, as opposed to artificial intelligence. Because sometimes we tend to think that something is artificial intelligence, and yet it is automation. And maybe from the historical point of view, what we think that it is automation today, from 15 years ago would be artificial intelligence. So we need to somehow differentiate between the two and think what could be called intelligent automation. So in this area, as a contrast to artificial intelligence, we have robotic process automation. We have software robots to help us do some processes which have many different steps. Maybe different steps are done in different applications. So you have to enter one application, do something there, take some files out, push them to some other application to do something, and then accomplish what you wanted to accomplish in the end, right? And these robotic process automation processes could be then combined with other disruptive technologies, blockchain being one of them. So to bring this a little bit closer to you, I'll show you the example of what we have developed at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Zagreb, inspired by what we have done through the previous InterPARES Trust project on blockchain. So we are issuing a lot of diplomas every year, so around 1,300 diplomas. And we got a lot of inquiries whether they are issued by us or possibly they are forged. So we calculated that if we are going to respond to all those inquiries, we would need to have one employee for half a year doing only that, which is a boring and repetitive task. So we wanted to see whether we could somehow automate this. And this is what we came up with. We have a diploma on the front side, and we also have added back side of the diploma. This is a slide showing what we have added to the back. There is a QR code that an employer could scan and verify if the diploma he or she is holding in his or her hand is really authentic and issued by the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. And we are doing this by the help of blockchain, because you get the proof from the blockchain, and you could go by yourself to a public blockchain. You do not rely only on our system. So it's independent as well. However, coming back to the artificial intelligence, as opposed to robotic process automation or automation in itself, I'm involved, and my team is involved in the study called Identification of Critical Archival Challenges, which are the best candidates for improvement by AI technology in the context of retention and preservation of digital records. This is the team. As you can see, it is a diverse team from several continents, from Croatia, Italy, Turkey, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, USA, and so on. So the aim and methodology of our research is to not only identify those critical archival challenges, but also to specify factors within challenges and to map them according to different aspects that we find out. And then we will propose which AI technology or methodology would be the best to solve those challenges. And of course, we needed to find out what the practitioners think. So we did the online survey. It was done in three languages and opened up for 5 weeks. And we got 106 responses from 27 different countries. After that, we invited some of the respondents who were kind enough to provide their contacts to follow up in-person interviews, and we have done 14 of them, again in different languages. So I'll try to present you what we have found out so far. So just to lay the ground or set the stage, I'll just say that according to the type of the institutions or organizations where they work, 50% of the respondents are working in the government archives. When we ask them, do you perform digital preservation tasks in your institution or organization, 70% of the responses were positive. So we presume they do have some challenges with them as well. And then we asked them, do any of the digital preservation processes involve large quantities of digital records? 59% of them said yes. However, this might be a trick question, because what does it mean, a large quantity? And then we asked them, and we really got some interesting results, from numerous files as a response to 9 petabytes. So you can see the range between what people consider a large quantity of archival materials in the digital form. We knew this might be the case, so that's why we asked, okay, so could you please specify? And you can see many different, a selection of different answers that we got. So this is also important to understand. And then the next question asked if any of the digital preservation processes involve repetitive or time-consuming tasks similar to those that I have presented in relation with the diplomas. And cumulatively, if we add yes time-consuming and yes repetitive and yes both, we end up with 61% of all of those together. So this is a significant number. So this shows us that there is a space for artificial intelligence to help the practitioners. And this is the tasks which were identified as repetitive or time-consuming, with 3 or more identifications of different tasks. So adding, gathering, and extracting metadata was high, ranked high. Then the digitization, capture or ingest, file integrity check, indexing, records management, appraisal, even backup, and then renaming files based on their content. So this is how the field is outlined, so to say. And if we and when we ask them to which group of activities the identified processes which can be additionally improved or just improved by AI-related technology best relate to, you can see the outline here according to the archival functions. So we received, this could be responded by choosing more than one option. So we received 150 responses, and you can see that really we could, I would say, can implement artificial intelligence throughout all the functions of the, all archival functions. And then a few responses from the in-person interviews. So we asked them, if you employ AI components within your systems, and some of them did, or products, to create or process information, do you document and preserve the information about the procedures and tools used, along with information about the persons carrying out these processes, procedures, because we thought this would be important. Some of them said yes, some of them said no, but some of them said no, but interesting, could be done. So this is also the information that by responding to a survey, sometimes you could get some fresh ideas, right? To the question, do you think archivists or records managers need AI training? I think you could suspect what was the answer, right? You all here just because of that. So the responses So the responses were, I think archivists need AI training, but before they need training on IT. Oops. The basic understanding of the framework of how some of these things work, vocabulary and terminology. This is a fair statement, and extremely necessary. Not to develop an AI solution, but to know what can be done. And this is one of the things, one of the reasons that all of us are here today as well. And then, you know, sort of a provocative question we also asked. Are you afraid of losing your job because of AI? The responses were unilateral. It was no, 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 and hell no. And then we of course asked why. Because AI needs human supervision, correct? Because my position will grow and advance along with the technology, true. Because we are the ones who train the machine, but also people who work description and transcription may be endangered. And to conclude, So in our research, we try to identify critical archival challenges to be improved by artificial intelligence, and we do have some ideas where it could best be used. So in digitization supported by AI, and we will be speaking about that immediately after the break. Then the quality control, indexing, classification, metadata extraction. Then also in digital preservation supported by AI. And this could be, for example, the artificial intelligence could be, for example, used in experience and be using experience gained from past situations with similar file formats and flagging potential problems for currently kept file formats. And also reference and access supported by AI, by identification of personal identifying information, or PII, and context-based reduction of materials. So we'll have some next steps, and in future we will identify possible AI solutions for the identified critical archival challenges. And with that, I would like to thank you.